Hello everybody. Sorry for the slight delay that I got here a bit later, but I had a meeting that I had to attend. So give me just a moment to set everything up. So I think let me see. Could you give me some feedback, a quick one, just if the audio is working and if you hear the music and everything? It would be great. Hey, Missing No Uploader, thanks for being here again. Stevens, hey. Thanks for coming by. Michael, hey, thanks. Thanks for coming back. And thanks for your support again. I really appreciate it. Yeah. All right. The music is a bit too quiet. I'll increase it a little bit. It's just supposed to be filling the silence when I'm concentrating on sculpting. So it shouldn't be too loud from the music, but yeah, I increased it a little bit. I hope it should be a bit better. Right, thanks everyone for coming by. We started the goblin that you can see here last week on Sunday, and it's based on the concept that I drew a bit earlier, and I want to finish this as a miniature and print it out in the end. And last time we managed to create most of the body. The hands and the feet are still missing, but I think we can get this done today and then maybe move on to some accessories and put some cloth onto him. Missing No Uploader. Once you fully sculpt the goblin, were you going to rig it to a skeleton or something to give him a pose? I'm thinking about trying a little bit or trying out the Rigify add-on that is in Blender. I think it's similar to M-Gear that I used in Maya more often. I tried out Rigify once, but there were still some hiccups that I couldn't solve, but it seems promising. And I think I will try it out to see if it makes sense to rig that, or if it's too tedious here in Blender. I would do it in Maya because I know how I would do it, and since I want to make multiple variations of this character, it would make sense to give him a quick rig just to make more iterations on the poses. So maybe, depending on how applicable, can you say that? How practical the integration of Rigify is. But yeah, we will see. So, sorry if I'm a bit out of breath and a bit, how do you say it? In German it would be hibbelig, a bit on edge. I don't think it's the right term, but yeah, I just came back from a meeting. I know it's Sunday, but I had a meeting anyways for a job, so a freelance job. So yeah, I'm glad that I came just in time. But yeah, so I'm a bit hyped right now. So where were I? Yes, I tried out sculpting the hand a few days ago. Let me quickly show you. Sculpting test hand. this is if anyone has missed it, I streamed on Wednesday as well. I did an anatomy study, the torso that you can see here. We sculpted that on stream. And for anyone who's interested in the recording of that live stream, I have a Patreon page. I will quickly write the link to the Patreon page in the comments. And there you can get access to the recording of the stream. I decided to make it Patreon exclusive because, as you can see, the job that I currently have requires me to be very flexible and be there when we need to. So my hope is that with the Patreon that I will be able to take more time off from work to put into YouTube and making videos, tutorials, and streams like that. So yeah, I decided to keep the live streams available for everyone as long as it's live, just like right now. And anyone who's interested in the time lapse and the real-time video can support me on Patreon, and it's $2 a month for the live stream archive. And my plan right now is to, once we get through a project like the goblin, then I will make a time-lapse video of it to upload it to everyone to see, so anyone can still participate on the process and the projects that we create together. So yeah, I hope it's understandable that I took the Patreon route. Yeah, and I did the torso on Wednesday, and then I did the hands here with a friend of mine. We hung out and did a small sculpting session, and there I sculpted these hands. And now my question to you would be should we start the hands from the goblin from start, or just to speed things up, use these hands and do the feet, whatever is more interesting to you. So I could either reuse the hands on the goblin or start everything from scratch, whatever you prefer. So it would be nice to get some replies just to see what you're more interested in. Michael, hand from start would be great. All right, anyone else? If not, then we can start with the hands from scratch. So. Missing no uploader, starting from scratch. All right, 2 people. The last Desperado. I'm kind of interested in later processes to get it to the miniature phase. We will definitely cover that in the next streams. I will also include adding supports and dialing everything into Cheetobox, which is the last software, to send it to the printer. So we will cover everything during the streams. And from start, just continue. Señalo Yalo, just continue because you took a lot of time doing it. I think this will take around the hands maybe half an hour when I started from scratch, and I think it could be interesting to you. So it seems quite a few would like to see it from the beginning, so let's do it from scratch. Yeah, what I like with these projects and streaming this is that it's more about the process and not about the result. So I think time is not the important thing for me here. It's more about sharing yeah, what you're interested in. So yeah, no worries. And practice makes perfect. So no matter how many skulls or heads or arms, feet, whatever I sculpted, it's always good to sculpt it again to get a bit better at it. So let's start the hand from scratch. Right. What I like to do is to separate the objects that I sculpt into the most simple shapes that I could think of. So in this case, I will start with a cube and scale it down so it roughly resembles the palm of the hand. And like this. Then I add the subdivision surface, make it simple, and give it a few subdivisions just to have some topology to work with. And what I will now do is to add the cylinder as a single digit, one finger, and I will sculpt that first a little bit and give it some detail and then duplicate it to save a bit of time. Hey Mo, thanks for coming by again. I think you were at every stream that I had so far, if I'm not mistaken, so glad to see you back. So I will scale it down a little bit. I'll just put it roughly in place, like the index finger here. The thumb will be here, but I will reuse the finger that I sculpt next for that as well. So let me insert some edge loops here and close off the caps. So center. And merge at center. So we don't have any funky n-gons to work with. It's a good practice, or one of these best practices, to avoid n-gons as much as possible. So polygons with more than 5 vertices. So maybe we can already... Yeah, let's rotate these a little bit already. Select lesson. I just want to separate or identify the position of the knuckles. Hey Michael. Glad you liked the book. Yeah, I just studied it today as well, and it's a great resource. It's a bit difficult to digest, but once you get a hang of it, there's a lot of valuable information there. So glad you like it. So I think that is sufficient for me to going to sculpting, and I leave the objects separate for now, just to be a bit more flexible. So I need that. So, all right. Then let's activate. One thing that I always forget is, of course, applying all the transforms, so I don't get weird stretching. Much better. Let's see. All right. I think there's enough resolution for me to work with. So let's flesh out a single finger. I'm not quite sure what the reasons are exactly, but the first time that I tried to sculpt the hand that I showed you, didn't feel as comfortable as I'm used to in ZBrush. I'm currently trying to figure out what exactly is the difference, because it seems like it should be as fluent of a process as it is in ZBrush, but there are some minor things that make it a little bit more complicated and not as straightforward, I would say, as I would sculpt it in ZBrush. So yeah, there are little things that are not that obvious for me right now, that I want to figure out what makes ZBrush better in some regards and what makes Blender better in some regards. Because there are definitely some points where Blender has an advantage. So I shouldn't focus too much on the details here, because like we know, it's going to be a miniature in the end, and the fingers will be really, really small. So I will try to keep it loose. Defining some knuckles in the bony part of the finger on top. So there's a bulge where the knuckle is, making it a bit more squarish, like flat on the top. And then it's a bit beveled at the edges between the knuckles. Nadish, sorry. Do you retopo your models? Yes, I do. It depends on what I'm using the model for. If I do just a sculpt, then I mostly do it with ZRemesher, and when I do sculptings and models for animated movies and or video games and stuff, then I would make a retopo manually. So depending on what I'm working on. I think I will exaggerate the bony feeling of the fingers just by enhancing the bulge of the knuckles. Logan, what will you do to connect all of your individual pieces? Remesh or Boolean? I will probably use remesh. It's similar to what I would do in ZBrush. So remesh seems to be very powerful here as well. And I think it gives better topology for sculpting as if I would use Boolean. Because Booleans sometimes create n-gons or weird topology that relaxes not that well. So yeah, very quick finger. I'll add the knuckle here as well. Like that. All right. Let's switch to the palm of the hand. And I added a bit of resolution earlier, so I have some topology to work with. And so there's a slight hill when you look from the bottom of the hand, and the hand retracts back towards the little finger. Let me show it later when you have more in place. But the fingers are not starting on one line, but across this curve here. Thanks, Logan. Glad you enjoyed. So. All right. I think I will drag out the root for the thumb here, just to have something to attach to the new digit to. And as you can see, I forgot to apply the transforms again. Let me do that right after adjusting the palm. All right, this seems to be sufficient. Right. So what I'm now doing is to adjust the scaling a little bit and then duplicating the fingers around the hand of the around here, wherever. Let's see. I still have to figure all of the settings and different tools out that I'm not used to since I come from Maya. So Alright. And the little finger sits lower than the rest of the fingers, the middle one being the highest up. Thanks, Mo. Yeah, here in the transform pivot point, there's still a lot of functions that are not that common or that I'm not that familiar with, that are displayed or integrated in a different way in other programs. So it's a learning process. So let's origin. All right. There we go. Yeah, all the transform tools and rotations and stuff is quite different from what I used to, but I have the feeling that it has quite a lot of potential to become really, really fast. So that is something that feels promising. So I just joined all of the fingers together, and then I will, just in case, apply all transform. So we can work on the hands together as one piece. And the cool thing is, when the fingers are still separated, we can use the topology auto masking, and this way we can move the individual fingers without affecting the other ones. So this is a feature that I really like to use in ZBrush as well. And you can find it in the tool menu here under Advanced Topology Auto Masking. And this makes it quite a lot more enjoyable to especially work on fingers. So let's incorporate the thumb a little bit better. We can shorten it a little bit. Oh, let's see. Could be a bit shorter and a bit thicker, just to distinguish it a little bit from the other fingers. Oh. Let me just grab the let's see. Does this make more sense for you to see it better I don't know if the menu here on the right side is more important or the brushes here, but we can drag everything where we want it to, so maybe I could get some feedback from you if it's a bit better. Hold on. All right, let's continue. Yeah, this is like all the streaming, all the projects, and everything is a work in progress, and I would like to develop what we do and how we do it together with you. So I'm interested in any feedback that you have regarding video topics or stream topics, or I don't know, if the music is annoying or anything, whatever. Yeah. Right, it seems to be a bit more convenient to have the camera on the bottom, so we will leave it like that for now at least. I think depending on what we work on, it might make sense to change the layout, so we have the things that are most interesting always inside. So I think the layout will change over time and be adjusted for different cases. So let's separate the digits from the bottom as well. And the hand is taking shape, I think. Doesn't look too bad. It's not realistic right now, obviously. It seems a bit blobby and very rough, but it will probably be seen from this distance, so I want to make sure it's exaggerated a bit, and yeah, don't put detail in there that gets lost anyways. Yeah, I will maybe smooth out the nails or exaggerate them a little bit more, just to make it visible in the print. Let me see, maybe we can do it right now. I will probably make the bed of the nail really, really thick. And a lot larger, probably. So something like that. And exaggerate the knuckles. I think this could be possible with printing. I think I will leave it like that for now, and I will do the other nails soon. But this is an area where we can work smart as well, where, for example, if we place the hands onto the rest of other objects, like holding a weapon or anything like that, then we can create really fine detail that isn't hanging in the air, so it can get printed as well. And otherwise, sometimes, for example, hair strands and stuff, if they're really hanging in the air, then they either don't get printed or they really easily can break off. So if we lay hair onto the rest of the body, then we can get really fine detail without having difficulties printing it. So the fingernails are definitely a tricky point as well as the eyes, for example. So let's add some volume here, because I like it a bit better. Side effects, hi, thanks for stopping by. For anyone who just joined, we're sculpting these. We're sculpting this, not the pumpkin goblin here, but this one. Where is it? This, yeah. We're sculpting the goblin in the background. It's a concept that I drew, and we did the rest of the body last week, and now we're finishing it off with the hands and the feet. Then we can start with the accessories, which I'm excited about. So, as you can see, this size and scaling is not working right now, but we can adjust that later. John, no, I haven't. I tried out the post brush a little bit. It's hard to control, but I will try it out with the fingers actually later. So yeah, once I attach it to the rest of the body, I will probably use the post brush, and yeah, we will see how that turns out. Nadish, is it right how I pronounce your name? I always fear to. I'm afraid to pronounce names wrong, but yeah, I think we should do that as well. Maybe if we have a bit of time left at the end today, we can refine the pumpkin goblin a little bit. Could be a nice print, just for fun. I think the nails can be a bit sharper now that they're a bit thicker. But this is something that I will probably adjust in the end anyways, to see if it would print or not. So I think this looks okay. Let's adjust the palm a little bit again. Just incorporate it a bit better. Something that I learned from the Bridgman anatomy book is this bulge here, for example, between the thumb and the the rest of the hand. This makes a huge difference, in my opinion, the believability of a hand. So there's quite a fleshy part in here, which is actually a muscle. It's a shape that I really like. It seems, I don't know, elegant. I think it's time to join the palm with the rest of the fingers. And then place it onto the rest of the goblin. Let's put the origin in the center. And let's increase the size of the ant. Nadish, yes, this is something that I'm thinking about. I will probably set it up next week. I wanted to ask, but I'm glad that you suggested it first. So yeah, I would love to build a community where we can share projects that we work on and yeah, share the tips and tricks, especially in Blender since there are so many. Yeah. Something that I will definitely do. So glad that there's interest for that. Michael, you seem to be interested in that as well. Definitely do it. Maybe we can even do something later where we yeah, collaborate on different projects, or I can give feedback onto models and anatomy stuff and share it during the stream. So yeah, it has a lot of potential. I think the next stream I should be able to have everything in place for a Discord channel. So keep your eyes out. Let's see. This looks good already. Okay. This is going to be a really huge hand in comparison to the rest of the model. Sculpting challenges sound really fun, yeah. And like exercises and stuff, yeah. I would be into it. So I'm currently not merging the fingers yet, because I want to have the freedom to move individual parts. So I'll be focusing on the bigger shapes for now, like the integration of the hand and stuff like that. Did I do a duplicate of it? This is not supposed to happen, I would say. I mean, it's an interesting design. But yeah, it seems like there's a double mesh going on. It's a funny technique for a demon-like creature. But yeah, let me remove one of those. Link to one. See if I just delete. This is somehow merged together, so let's do a remesh modifier on top of it. Yeah, it's stuff for nightmares. But it could lead to a really interesting miniature, actually. Maybe some kind of abomination character that is stitched up from different parts and got deformed through dark magic. Nice. Huh. Master of Esmec. Yeah, this was a crazy accident. But yeah, it sparked some inspiration for future models. It'd be fun, making some weird distorted creatures with several limbs that flow from one to the other. Merge by distance. Alright. Let me learn that. So I will select all vertices and then I think with M by distance. Let's see what it does. Alright. Modeling, sculpting. Let's see. Yeah, it's gone. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, it was a strange view with the multiple limbs. Definitely confusing if you just joined. I have a slight angle here on purpose, and this is something that I saw in the Bridgman book as well, which gives it more of a gestural feeling, I would say, that there's a kind of angle here before it transitions into the arm. So just subscribe. Thanks for the subscription. So it seems like there are still 2 meshes in here, but I will remesh it later anyways, so it's fine for now. And let's go into Topo. Let me see. Yeah, Jones, I just noticed that as well. This is always something that I really don't like to realize in ZBrush as well. But we can symmetrize it here. Let me see if it's not crashing on me. Uh-oh. Ah, there we go. It worked. But it gets slow right now. Not sure if there's a modifier applied to the model now. There's still some operations, it seems like, that take a lot of computing power, which I have to get a feeling for. Let's see. Yeah, just got a lot slower, so I'm not quite sure what the reason for that is. Ah, because I'm using Topo. Yeah, Mo. The little things. Topo and Remesh I confused them with one another. Because Topo is similar to the Sculptures Pro feature in ZBrush, and I didn't use that too much since it crashed on me several times and made me a bit anxious. So, but here in Blender it seems more stable. At least when you don't have that many polygons on your model. So yeah, using that and remesh confuses me a little bit, but yeah, everything is still new. This is, for example, something that's different in ZBrush. The symmetry settings are local on each object. So if I jump from an object that I sculpt symmetrically onto one that I sculpt asymmetrically, then the settings switch. And yeah, here it seems to be a global setting. So since I just activated it for the body, I also have it activated here. But maybe I can switch it to... I thought it's possible to switch to world, but still fine. Turn that off. I just have to remember to turn symmetry back on again when I work on the rest of the body. So I will just rotate it a little bit. I think it looks a bit more appealing. And then go back into sculpting. I think this is a decent place, a decent stage. Right now, let me mirror it over to the other side. So, object, set origin, origin to Photo, how good is the focal length? I think the focal length here in Blender is better actually than in ZBrush, because Blender is a proper 3D software. ZBrush is a 2.5D software, which is kind of a technical workaround to be a bit more efficient with the polygons. And it's a really old architecture software-wise, if I'm not mistaken. And this way the camera was always a bit cheated, or yeah, it's just yeah. Anyways, here we have a proper camera in Blender, and the focal length is, I think, similar or more similar to how we actually see. Yeah, focal length is at 50 millimeter, and this is how a person sees, or a human. And it's not too orthographic, and it's not too fisheye like. So yeah, I like it. Oh, Michael, if you uncheck lock object modes under edit, you can sculpt in 2 different objects at the same time. Let me see. Lock object modes. Cube. Oh. And then back to sculpt mode. Alright, so switching from one tool or one object to the other is Alt, click on the I see. Alright, that's cool. Yeah, it's similar to the Alt left click in ZBrush. This is actually a feature that I was looking for. So thanks. Thanks a lot. Yeah, it makes it more intuitive for me, since I'm used to it from ZBrush. What I'm currently doing is to adjust the volume of the fingers a little bit to incorporate it into the rest of the design a bit better. Now they seem like they belong to a different character. Maybe I will inflate it. Let's see what results it gives. And I'm inflating from the bottom of the fingers, so I don't inflate the tip too much, and the fingers get a bit tapered towards the end. Romina, hey, thanks for stopping by. You just joined. We're currently sculpting the goblin that I drew last week or the week before. And we did the rest of the body on the last stream, and now we're doing the hands and feet. And the aim is to get a finished miniature in the end, from concept or from the start of the sculpting process to the finished printed model. Let me see. It seems like the symmetry of the hand is broken because I haven't applied the transforms yet. I transform and let's see if the this now seems way better. And let's symmetrize it again. Yeah. Thanks, Alex. I really appreciate it. It's still quite a adventurous journey, all of this. So there's a lot of stuff that I want to learn, and starting to stream is definitely a new endeavor for me as well. So I'm really excited about what will come in the future with the projects and stuff that YouTube and Patreon enable me, so I can put more time and effort into all of this, which I'm really looking forward to, since there's so many fun miniatures and that I want to do, projects that I would like to realize, and courses and stuff to share. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to what comes next as well. So let's see. I think the hand is a bit too thin right now. I will adjust it a little bit. Hello from Russia. Hey, thanks for joining. Greetings from Germany here. It's quite a warm Sunday. And I'm glad I'm not living in my old apartment now, where I would live right underneath the roof, where it would get really, really hot in the summer. So I'm glad I moved to my new flat here to avoid the heat waves. Hi, Elise. Thanks for joining. Let me exaggerate the knuckles a little bit more. I think it's important to have them really pronounced for this miniature. And I'm not so worried about all the transitions right now from one mesh to the other, because this is a really easy fix once it's all merged together. So I'm just looking for the big shapes and the most important volumes to somehow represent what I want to achieve. Now separating the tendons on the back of the hand. Just making everything larger and easier to distinguish from the distance. And I think this doesn't look too bad. Alright, so the hand, bit of a perfectionist, even though it's a really rough model, really blobby one, but there are always things that stand out to me, for me, and then I just have to jump in to fix them. And then it makes, sometimes makes it a bit slower in the process, but it makes the model always a little bit better as well. At least that's the hope. Right, I think they can be inflated a little bit more. Just to give them more volume once they're printed. So they don't look too fragile. That's big. Nadish, thanks for stopping by. Hope you have a great evening or morning or night or wherever you are. And hope to see you again next time. And for everyone, just so you know, I stream on Wednesdays and Sundays. 6 p.m. GMT +2. I always hate these time zones and everything like that. But there's a schedule on my Twitch account where you can see the time for that. If you're interested in that, check that out. Alright, I think the hands are good for now. So I will jump to the feet. And for the feet, let me try to use a different approach. I think I will try to sculpt it directly, just to change up the workflow a little bit. And yeah, let's see how quick we can achieve a nice result the toes. Maybe it's a bit more fun to watch as well. So I will first block in the very basic toes in here, and then use the move brush to drag out the big toe. I will adjust it a little bit here with the move brush or grab brush here in Blender, and then let's work on the knuckles. These are, I think, the most important thing to get right, because they define almost anything when it comes to the toes and fingers. So let's block in the knuckles a little bit, and I will use the clay strips brush for that. Knuckles and the tendons. And the anatomy is not on point here. Mikey Shiki is now following. Sorry if I pronounced the name wrong. Thanks for the follow. There needs to be a lot more volume here, and I will just raise the knuckles here. There's quite a lot of volume here, which creates this ramp on top of the feet, of the foot. So let me add the volume here, which transitions into the lower parts of the foot here. And as with the hand, the toes are not aligned on a straight edge like it would be like this, but there's quite a round curve, so there's quite the angle here. So, and with the toe knuckles, I like to start with the first knuckle where the toe attaches, and then there's a step down to the next knuckle like this. So there's a stair, like a step on a stair, which gives a good base to create the rest of the details. And here the separation is right when the first knuckle ends, like this. And on the other toes it's not that important because we don't see it anyway. And this workflow is good for only sculpts, but I wouldn't recommend it for when you want to retopo the toes and make an animation ready character, because the cleanup that is involved in making the retopology on a mesh like this, it's quite a hassle. So I would recommend to model it clean from the beginning. So that's why I did it with the hands, because I'm more used to that workflow. But if you only want to do a sculpt or a study, then this is actually a really fun way to sculpt hands and feet. But you don't have the individual digits here, so it's a small trade-off. Nishant, what is his Twitch ID? I will quickly write the link to it in the chat. /TV/ This should be the link to it. I have to add some kind of a chat bot or anything like that, just to give you all the information that you need. X Dieter is now following. Thanks for the follow. If you just joined, we're adding the goblin character in the background, and I'm currently sculpting the toes. Electric Egg is following. Thanks for the follow. But the tongue breaker, say that. So there are actually more steps than one on the feet, I just realized. So yeah, imagining the toes as a staircase, really made it easier to grasp how it is constructed. So yeah. Still have to clean up the transitions, but in principle this is how you create the, yeah, that was the joint missing. This is how you create toes. What I figured out, I don't know if anyone remembered from the last streams, that the clay brush was a bit unpredictable. It seems like the pen pressure is set in a way that if I just slightly make a very light stroke, then it goes in a subtractive mode, and if I press a bit harder, then it becomes additive. So this is something that is quite unusual. I don't think there is a brush in ZBrush that behaves like that in a similar way. Which could be quite interesting, but definitely something that I need to get used to, because it involves adding and removing volume in the same stroke, which is sometimes a bit, I don't know if I want that. So yeah, we'll keep trying it out, and haven't made a decision yet if I like it or not. So yeah, but once I realized that I think it makes it easier for me to use the tool because of auto smooth. Let's see if when I turn it off. D-Scup, you're a magician. That's right. Alright, that changes a lot. Very, very cool. It's funny, I tried to play with all the other settings, but I somehow didn't thought about auto smooth. Alright. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the feedback. I struggled with that one, or I wondered about that one quite a bit in the beginning, but this makes it way more predictable. Cool stuff. Thank you very much. Dial it in a little bit. Yeah, Stevens, yeah, this is, for me, the clay brushes are the most important brushes. If the clay brushes behave right, then yeah, I can get 90% of the stuff that I'm doing done with it. So yeah, but the auto smooth setting, this makes a huge difference. So now it's behaving much more like the brushes in ZBrush, I think. Yeah, but like you say, or like you said, the brushes in ZBrush, they're a lot sharper with their yeah, adding volumes and carving in and carving out. So in Blender it still feels a little bit like I need to do more strokes than I would need in ZBrush. So yeah, describing the behavior as shy is it's a good description. So I'm adding the tendons here for the feet. They taper down to the top of the feet here, so they get closer to each other. This one, I think, if I'm not mistaken, is a bit separate from it. Something like that. The radius pen icon. Do you mean this one? Let's see with ZBrush. Let's see. Play with the strength setting. So no, I think if I increase the strength, then then I would need to increase or change up the fall off as well. Maybe something more towards the sphere. Maybe the relation of the brush size that is currently visible and the actual draw size is a bit... I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, it's really hard to point at the defining difference between the brushes. But I think seeing the differences that the settings make, possible to dial it in a way that it's similar to the clay brush in ZBrush. I think the auto smooth made the biggest difference for me. This one. There is the double mesh again. I will probably have to remesh it soon. Tulio Bravo is now following. Thanks for the follow. We will probably never see the underside of the foot anyways. So yeah, let me remesh it quickly. And then we can maybe detail up the face a little bit more and then start with some cloth and some accessories. Hey, Noel, Vincent just joined. He's a good friend of mine. Thanks for joining, Noel. Now I have the chance to pronounce your name in the way that you don't like. In front of everybody. Just kidding. Noel is actually doing character rigging most of the time. He's also doing modeling as well. But he did the character rigs for my diploma project. So if anyone is looking for a character rigger, hit him up. Save, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, remeshes and all these big operations, they tend to be really hard on the system. So let's see. Expose, smooth normals. We'll go a little bit finer in detail. Yeah. Seems like I lost a little bit of detail, but it's still fine. So I will just quickly go around the model to brush up certain areas. And carve in a little bit deeper into the ear, for example, here, just to pronounce it a little bit more. It has to be visible from a distance. So yeah, I think Noel has to do a new show reel, so you can link to his stuff, because he's working on some really exciting scripts and tools for skin weighting in a procedural way, which is really exciting. And he has some character rigs that are pretty powerful, but they're not ready to present yet, as far as I know. But Noel, if you know more, then please write them in the comments. So maybe others are interested in that too. So, clay brush. I will pronounce the collarbones a little bit more. Yeah, you definitely need to try Blender out. I think it would be interesting for a lot of people to see, yeah, if you can transition or redo all the techniques or transfer them from Maya or Houdini or wherever you did your tests into Blender. So yeah, if character rigging gets more exposure, like especially in together with nice character designs, it could be really interesting for the community, for the Blender community. Let's see. I think we can start with adding some accessories. If there's anything that anyone is still doesn't like about the model, let me know so I can adjust it, but I think we're good to move on to the next phase of the character creation. Sculpt, do you like having the size of the brush be dependent on pen pressure? Yes. I think I never turn it off. So it's really I mean, except for the grab brush and stuff like that, but for most of the brushes, if not all, I use always the pen pressure, which is the reason why it doesn't really make sense to sculpt with a mouse, because you don't have that. And yeah, it's like drawing, either drawing in Microsoft Paint with a mouse or in Photoshop with a nice tablet that can track your pen pressure. So there's night and day difference. Hero Sid Ruthwick, thanks for coming by again. Yes, I think I will start with the pants and the shirt first, and then we can add the fur cape that he has, and the, how do you call it, the robe, the helm, the cap that he has, the hood. We can do that, but yeah, I think I will try to first start with the shirt just to try out the workflow. The hood, I think, yeah, the hood I will approach a bit different than the shirt. So I will probably start from a, what do you say it? From a simple shape like a sphere and then extract from there. But with the shirt here, I will just quickly mask out the area that I want to extract. This stroke is not that smooth. Let's change the spacing to maybe 5%. That's better. And he has actually almost a proper t-shirt, so I'll leave it like that here. So let's see, maybe I will make the line above the collarbones for now. And let's see, where was it? Mask extract. Threshold 0.5, smooth iterations 4. Let's just see if it looks good or not. I think this is one of these operations where it can crash on me as well, but to work. Cool. We have a cutout torso that we can now work on, and see how it holds up. This is looking good. Man, Blender is really powerful. When I started, I used Mudbox in the beginning before I discovered ZBrush, and the experience here in Blender is far superior than it was in Mudbox. Way better tools, and even though Mudbox is really good as well, but don't forget to save. And for anyone who's wondering why I did the whole body in a detailed way, not start with the cloth, my plan for this character is to serve as a base brush, so I can make multiple variations of the goblin, some with shirts on, some with a bare chest. And so I have a base that I can reuse and do multiple versions of the goblin from. So I want to make a whole troop, small group of goblins. Maybe setting up a trap for you, something like that. Alright, clear mask. Yeah, I heard that they do like automatic saving in the background, which is always a blessing if you otherwise would lose a lot of work. This makes ZBrush very attractive to me. Yeah, this is something that we could do next, actually, the Skaven one. I really like the designs of the Skavens, so it could be a nice creature to work on. And an interesting challenge with all the fur. Yeah, could be the next project once we're done with this one. So let me quickly smooth all of that out here, just to give it a base to work from. And I will leave the symmetry for the shirt here, just to get some basic rolls going, just to break off or break the symmetry a little bit. Yeah, my bro would be really happy as well. It's still a crazy concept for me that I can work on my own miniatures now. I was painting Warhammer miniatures 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and I loved it. And then the store closed in my town, the Games Workshop, so I wasn't able to continue that hobby in the way that was sustainable for me. So I kind of lost track in that hobby, and now it comes back in that way, and this is quite the blessing. I think I will wait with the folds until the character is in the pose. Otherwise I will lose all the folds anyways. So hurt me. Glad you found it helpful. That's the reason why I do all of these videos and all of this stuff, to share my process, and it's always something. I think there's something in it for everybody, for me as well, for anyone who starts. And if someone like you it's a bit of help for his or her own projects, then yeah, the purpose of the videos are reached. Can you say that? But yeah, let you get something out of it. Yeah, Mo. Maybe it could be an NPC, the goblin here. That yeah, lurks around a corner and just waits for his next victim to fool and mess up his or her journey. Hey, he could have some evil, mean tricks on hand. So I don't want to spend too much time here. Maybe we can leave him naked for now and add the hood. I think this is a bit more interesting. So let's switch to layout and let me add a sphere. We can sculpt a base mesh to mask out the hood from, and then extract it later. I think taking the sphere, pushing it around, getting it into a place where it belongs. I'll probably use the remesh modifier here, the tool. Give me a bit more resolution to work with, so I can carve out the actual hood, and it will look like a a wig, but yeah, makes the process a bit funnier. So what I'm doing here is defining the outline of the hood and just focusing on the big shapes. And I kind of like the pointy hood from the concept, so I'll push it together here and trying to find interesting shapes to work with. Let me see. It's a fairly tight hood in the concept, and it gives it some kind of a thief-like appearance, because having tight clothes and stuff fits more for a thief. So it fits the evil attitude right now. So make it a bit tighter around his face. I'm always trying to find nice rhythms and flows, so there's no extremely straight angles and no parallel lines. I try to avoid that. It doesn't work all the time, but yeah. So I think this looks good, and let's mask out what we want to keep. Maybe I remesh before that just to get a better topology for the masking. And I don't go right to the edge here, because I don't want to have a curved edge on the hood. So I will. That's something that I wanted. Yeah, I want to have a clean edge, so I don't go to the part of the mesh where it curves around. Or mask off the rest of the head here. And what I will do is to leave a hole for the ears. And I think this place here, that should be fine. Something like that. And let's save beforehand. And now go to mask and mask extract. And let's give it a bit more thickness. This 0.8. Let's give it -0.1. It extrudes outwards. Maybe let's extrude it inwards. I think it's placement should be a bit better. Let's hide that, and yeah, this is looking good. I like that. We can now continue sculpting. And I actually like the silhouette of the hood, so I won't push the hood onto the skull anymore. So even though there are gaps inside of the hood, I won't fill them up quite yet. But we'll wait for later to maybe add air or fur or stuff like that. It fills up all the gaps. So it added quite a lot to the character already. So the hood was a good choice to work on next. So you can tilt it up a bit more upwards as well. Give it a more aggressive shape. Let's see, facets. Alright, what I just did is to make face sets from the normals, and my aim was to separate the the outline of the mesh here, the green one, in order to clean that up a little bit. Let's see if it's... I can use the draw face mask tool to smooth it. Maybe if I go into layout and add some more edge loops there, then Blender has some more geometry to work with. Sometimes if you only have an edge, then it's hard with face masks or polygroups in ZBrush. So I edited some edge loops here, and let's see if... yeah. Here you can see that the smoothing behaves completely different than before. So with H you can isolate the polygroup that you're on. And now I'm trying to see if I can smooth out the edge here without losing too much of the definition of the edge. Let's see. Now smoothing from that direction here. Back and forth maybe. So I think it's okay. Or we can make it a bit rounder here. I would probably smooth everything anyways in the end, so the printer has a easier time to get all the details in. But this looks good. Main just subscribed. I have no idea how to pronounce your last name, so I won't even try it. This week, thanks. Yeah, I like the progress so far. There's still quite a big difference to the concept, but I think we're on a good track. Let me pull the hood forward a little bit. I think and trying to see how to get closer to the concept, but I would probably have to do that once we are posing the character. And the nose can be a bit larger, I think. Wait a minute. So, a bit larger, and I think if I inflate the ridge of the nose here, and we get closer to the concept. Yes. Before and after. I think made a good change in the right direction. Pronouncing the crease here definitely increases the evil look on the character. Yeah, Stevens, that's right. These polygroup and smoothing functions in ZBrush are really handy. So I hope Blender will add something like that in the future as well. It's a powerful tool. So I increased this curve here to get closer to the concept, and it made it more aggressive, I think. Maybe it's a bit too exaggerated. Dial it back down. It's quite a pronounced eyebrow. No. Maybe a bit too pronounced. But I saw a lot of prints and comparisons between models and prints that showed that you really have to almost get cartoony in the model to get proper reading on the details in a small sculpt. So it might look funky on the computer, but once you have it in your hands, it looks way better. So this is still a learning process for me. I did a few models already, the miniatures and other printing stuff as well. But yeah, I didn't print it a lot on my own, not on a regular basis. So I wasn't able to do models, then print them, compare them, how or see what I can exaggerate further, and then do adjustments, print again. So yeah, I hope in my next apartment I will be able to set up my printer in a permanent space to be able to print daily, maybe. I hope so. To get the turnaround time from one miniature to the other quicker. Imkilua 6076 is now following. Every time someone subscribes or follows, I will butcher their names, so bear with me, and sorry for anyone that I might offend by pronouncing their names wrong. But yeah, I just appreciate if anyone is stopping by. So. Alright. I think I would like to do the teeth next. The blank mouth is always staring at me. So I have the urge to finish that one here. And I will... yeah, I think I will add small spheres. Or I will do a similar approach as I did with the fingers on the hand. I will sculpt one single tooth and then duplicate it across the rest of the mouth. So let's do that. Add mesh, UV sphere, S for scale, scaling down, G for grabbing, placing it roughly here. I think this will be one of the more prominent tooth. And Let's do a quick sculpt on that one. Basically just dragging it upwards and giving the tooth a little bit of a curve. Okay, but flatter base is not that round, and then giving the tooth kind of a root should be efficient. So we can unhide the rest of the character and go back into the layout where we can rotate it and put it into the right place. And I will probably have to adjust the curvature of the mouth a little bit, just to make the teeth fit. And I will only do one side and then flip it over to the next one. Currently duplicating the mesh in the edit mode. This way it stays in the same object. So Shift D again. Let's see how many rows he has. I think there aren't that many teeth anyways, so we can be a bit quicker with these ones. So I think this looks not too bad. Let's mirror it over to the other side. And then let's pick this one too. See. Creator, thanks. Bet you like it. Still something for me as well to get used to talk to a camera and then wait for the chat for some responses. So I appreciate the feedback. So now once we have the lower part done, we can duplicate it and flip it just by, I think, rotating it. If this way, and 180 degrees. And now we have flipped it. In the upper jaw, he doesn't have that long teeth, so I will scale some down. Let me remove the left side of it. Just so we only have to do the work on one side. Scale down, rotate, and move up. Scale down. Rotate and moving back. So this is kind of a repetitive process. I think in ZBrush it would be a bit faster. But it seems to work here as well. Let's add the mirror modifier again, and let's pick the object here as a mirror plane. So I think that looks okay. We can do some adjustments on the jaw here, incorporate the teeth a little bit better. And what I will probably do once we prepare it for the print is to fill the gaps here and remove everything that goes behind the teeth, which won't get printed anyways, and yeah, to make it in a way that we need less supports. So. But we're getting closer to the concept. It's cool. I think the upper jaw is a bit further. Yeah. So it's the upper jaw is not behind the lower jaw, but more in front. Otherwise, you get the impression that the character has an underbite, which is sometimes the look that you're going for, but it just has to be used consciously. I would like to get a bit more definition here on the forehead by defining the planes a little bit sharper. Don't know if it improved the model or not. I will leave it like that for now. So I actually wanted to focus on the accessories, and I got lost in the details again. So let's continue with the hands. I think this can be blocked out next. I will go into the orthographic view, use B for masking, and then I can use the mask extract and hit OK. So we have a mesh that we can work with for the pants. So this looks good. I think the thickness can be minus 0.1 because we want to extrude from the body away. And this looks good, so we can hit apply. And these are extremely tight clothes right now. I think I did extract the rest of the shirt that we masked earlier as well. I will delete that one. We are only left with the pants. Pretty tight fit so far. Thick legs, pretty pronounced. Butt cheek. Sorry, goofing around. What do you like more, Blender or ZBrush? Since I used ZBrush for almost 8 years now, I think, Blender is having a hard time to compete with that. But I think there are certain use cases for character creation where it makes sense to stay completely in Blender, and sometimes it makes sense to stay completely in ZBrush. The strength of Blender, in my opinion, is, or my impression so far, is that you have access to all the basic modeling, box modeling tools. You have access to cloth simulation and yeah, everything that ZBrush doesn't offer. So ZBrush is purely for sculpting and a bit of box modeling as well. Some people do crazy stuff with the box modeling in ZBrush, but yeah, having everything in one package is a huge advantage. But you can realize complete projects only in ZBrush as well. And if I would have to decide now, I would say for sculpting, I still prefer ZBrush. It's way quicker. I'm way more used to it. But trying out a new software is a lot of fun right now. Just yeah, it gives me a fresh look on what I'm already quite used to. So yeah, I like the experience so far. Yes, I will try out the cloth brush here. I tried it out with Noé, who was in the chat a bit earlier, a friend of mine. And it's really hard to predict and to control. I think placing specific folds at certain places, I'm not quite sure if it's practical. If it's controllable in that way, so you can say, all right, I want to control or create folds only in this area here. But we can try it out soon, once I got the pants in place here. So let me quickly sculpt over it with a clay brush. That looks better. Alright. I will have more things on the pants anyways, so maybe I will just quickly smooth out only the surface and wait with the folds until I have more in place, which I can create the folds around. Ja, yeah, I think Dutch and German is really similar to one another. I was in I think I learned a little bit of Dutch when I visited your country once, but I forget everything. It is such a long time ago. So just try to smooth everything here, especially the butt. Just to have a base to put the straps and accessories on it. And the belt will cover the seam between the shirt and the pants anyways. Don't worry about that too much right now. Okay, so the Dutch language is comes from a more intuitive approach of structuring language. Yeah, rules are nice, but I think sometimes even I, as a native German, I have struggles with constructing certain sentences. Not too much, of course, but there are some sentences where no one is really sure how it's correct or not. So yeah, when you're so focused on having everything with rules, then sometimes it makes it a bit hard to make it right, because everything is set and you're always careful to do it the right way. All right, let's put some straps around his shin, so we can create the folds around that. And if I would have only done a single character, it obviously wouldn't have made sense to create the body first and then the rest of the cloth, as it gets covered completely now. Evens, yeah, I saw that as well. Pablo does these streams from time to time where he covers all the updates, and there's a lot of pretty cool stuff that they are working on right now, and I hope they figure out a way to make it art directable as much as possible, since it would save such a lot of time. So yeah, the cloth brush especially, it's like magic. Maybe we can actually, let me see, place it by normals. I'll try to separate the inner part from the outer part of the pants. See if I can do that. Anyways, let's try out the cloth brush. I will save beforehand. And I think I will try to go for the plane. And let's see if I can. The computer gets really slow. Maybe I have to decrease the resolution. Make it So I think the problem that I have is that the focus or the center of the brush doesn't give that nice results, but the area around it does. So for example, right now, this area here looks really cool. But I have to find a way to blend that, create that, and then erase the areas that I don't like here. But it is a nice base. Especially if at this point here, if there would be a strap here, something like that, and it could make a lot of sense. Yeah, I'll try that out. But first, let me put the strips in place. So let's mask out these lines here and use the mask extract tool. It was a bit too it wasn't wide enough, the strap, so I will create it again. Delete. Sculpt mode, and let's add a bit more thickness to it. And do the mask extract again. Looks better. Apply. All right. Now we can create the wrinkles here, and let's see if we can make use of the mask that we already put in place. So let's use the cloth brush here. Kind of setting was that. Let's see. I just try to drag it down to compress it here. It's actually I use it like that for now. I just want to have a base for the big folds. And it works quite well. Gives me a base to refine from. So I can exaggerate certain folds. That's pretty cool. Let me... And even if I don't like the folds, they give me at least a good visual reference how nice folds should look like, which is sometimes hard to find good reference for. So pretty cool. Man, that was quick. Cool stuff. Blender, that is magic. What kind of options does the cloth brush have, drawer? That's a good question. I haven't played with it too much yet. The big options are the deformation tab here. Drag is sliding across the surface and pushing and pulling it around. So it's like, yeah, swiping over a piece of cloth. Push, let me see. Alright, this seems to be, yeah, pushing it away from you. So it's a different axis. And hinge point, I think. Says some, wow. So if you have it on plane mode, then you create a line where the cloth gets dragged towards. Elfoglide 17. Yeah, damping and mass play a huge role as well. They change the parameters of the cloth itself. So if you have thick cloth or thin cloth, and if the cloth wants to stay in there or try to save the, how do you say it? If it tries to stay in the same deformation that it was before. So I think that's the cloth damping, that it tries to remain. Yeah, as you can see, it doesn't have that big of an effect because it wants to stay in the shape it is. And if I turn the damping down, then it's revealing the butt cheeks. Man, this brush is crazy. I mean, I only have to drag like that and we're done. Oh, it's crazy powerful. Yeah, I think zero damping is a bit too little. Man, the cloth brush is... As soon as I saw the cloth brush, I was like, I have to try out Blender for sculpting. Yeah, it's just crazy. Still hard to control. You get the artifacts here, but man, this makes sculpting cloth so much easier. Just to get a bit of surface variation in your cloth. For me, it's really hard to, or yeah, it's still really hard to find good placements for the folds, and this is a great tool to give a base to work from. Creator, thanks for joining. I hope you enjoyed the stream so far. We're going for 2.5 hours now, I think. So thanks for stopping by, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. And next stream, I will try to get everything done so we can start a Discord server. I will set everything up beforehand, and then we will have a place to chat and to yeah, share what we are working on more easily. And I would really like to see what you guys are all up to and what you guys are working on. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Discord channel, and I will put all of the information on the next stream on Wednesday. So if you want to come by, I would be glad to welcome you back. So I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are, and thanks for stopping by. Lachenko, I'm excited for the non-destructive subdivision levels so you can place cloth with lower resolution. Yeah. Me too. I think they have the multi-resolution modifier, which behaves similar to the subdivision levels in ZBrush, but I don't have a quick workflow right now to create a low base mesh of the sculpt that I'm working from and then project the details that I already had. So in ZBrush I would normally duplicate the mesh, then zero mesh one of them, add some subdivision levels, and then reproject it onto the old sculpt. But here it seems to be a longer process, which I will probably not do today. Drawer. Try using a low cloth mass with medium damping and grab deformation. I'm curious. Alright, I'm curious as well. That brush is seriously magic. Crazy. Grab and cloth damping. Low cloth mass. Let's see. Ooh, that's nice. Let's see, I think think that's a really good brush for areas like the one that we already had. So let me try it on the... Where can I try it? Can I try it on the shirt? It's good for joint areas, I think. Yeah, that looks really cool. Man, what a crazy brush. I don't think I have good areas for it right now. Since I want to keep the folds a bit larger, try it on the knee again. I think I have to start from a fresh, clean area to work from. Supreme sculpts, yeah. I think it's the same with every tool, that you need to get some experience to properly use the tool. Otherwise, I think the machine would take over too much, so it wouldn't be as flexible anymore. But this brush is really fascinating. I will definitely get more into it to get the potential from it. Crazy brush. And it's cool that you can do stylized stuff with it as well. I mean, I exaggerated some parts here a bit more. But for, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes of sculpting, or half an hour, I'm not sure. Somehow lose track of time during the sculpts. It's crazy fast. Really cool stuff. Man, this made it worth trying out Blender. Cool. So let's create the fur on his back. I think this will add a lot to the silhouette of the character. Stevens, thanks for stopping by. I don't think I will probably continue a little bit more with the sculpt, but you won't miss too much. I will probably only add the fur, and then I will call it done for today. So thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate everyone that watches currently and in the past. So yeah, and if you want to watch the recordings, you can head over to my Patreon account. I will quickly put the link in the comment section to get access to the livestream archive. I will leave the goblin process online. I decided on that since I started the process before I went live on Patreon, and I want to make it available to a lot of people to enjoy. And to make all of this sustainable, I decided to do all the study streams and following projects when we start the next one available through Patreon. So yeah, I will connect the Discord channel as well with Patreon. So yeah, if anyone wants to join and hang out, then check the link out. And there's more to come on that platform soon. So yeah. Let's add a sphere. I really like using spheres. I don't know, they're versatile to pull and push in any shape that I want. So I like to use that one. Yeah, I think I will do the rest in sculpting. And let's remesh just to give it a bit nicer topology, more even topology. And let's drag out the fur. And it's coming together here in the front. And I will add a kind of chain or a rope or some metals or stuff like that to hold it together. I want to have a really thick fur. I think that's looking. Covers the shoulders right now, but the final adjustment for the fur I will do once we have the pose in place. Right now we're only focusing on the blocking of the individual parts. And once everything is in place, we can detail it a bit further, bring everything together. Let me adjust the hood a bit. I will have to decide if I want to have a small overhang, the one that is currently underneath it, or if I want to have a sharp angle here. I think with the foot sticking out like this, a bit more interesting. It feels more hunched over this way. So I think I will leave it like that. Yeah, like that. So let me disable face sets. This is looking really good. I think we made a lot of progress today, which I like. Let's sculpt a little bit on these ones. Clear the mask with A. And just smooth everything out a little bit to inflate it again. Okay, thanks for stopping by. I don't know if you just joined or if you were here longer, but we added some cloths and the hands and feet to the goblin character. And we tried out the cloth brush, which is amazing, which I will use more often in the future. So Jay is here, just subscribed. Thanks for the subscription. Talk, yeah. So you had to work today on a Sunday. Me too. I just arrived right on time from a meeting from job. And I was like 2 minutes late here on stream. So I think I will scale it down a bit higher so that it's a bit wider. Yeah, I used it for the pants, the cloth brush here. I got some basic folds going, which I was able to define a bit further. So yeah, it's really hard to control, but there are some settings that are worth exploring, which make a huge difference, like the damping and the mass, as well as the different grabbing and pulling options. So yeah, it will have a learning curve, but it seems really, really powerful. So I just scale it down to... that was probably too much. Something like that. Just so I can push and pull it to the place where I want it to. Thanks. Yeah, it's... I think it's really hard to step a bit back to let the computer do a lot of things, since I have the for the folds, I want to have some folds at certain places, and then with the simulation I don't get it exactly where I want to. So yeah, I have to go a bit back and forth to see how to what I get from the computer. Okay. Then let me choose the sculpt. Victor, thanks for stopping by. Glad you liked the work. And if you're interested, on Wednesday at the same time I will do another study stream where I do some anatomy studies, this time in ZBrush, just so I have both softwares covered. But basically sculpting is the same no matter where you do it. Some tools make it easier, but yeah, everything applies to other softwares as well. So thanks for stopping by, and I hope you enjoyed it. So let's duplicate the wristband, or the how do you say it? The strap around his shin. I'm still in not so. I will do it in the same model. A, selecting everything, and Shift D to move it down. Shift D and then Shift X to You only move it on the YZ plane. This way I don't mess up the symmetry. So let's get back into sculpting and let's fit it onto the character. Maybe that doesn't make the most sense character design wise. Maybe we can change up the design of the armor a little bit, so there's a plate covering the whole leg and the knee. Let's see what we get. At this point here we can try out the cloth brush again. Let's mask off that area here to protect it from the simulation, as well as the area up here, so we only simulate the area in between. And let's take the pinch point. Let's see if that is the correct one. This looks good, I think. Let's try it the other way. Ah, no, it's not the right one. I think inflate could be the best one here. Inflating it a little bit. Maybe a good base to have a bit more mass to work with. Let's try this. I'm not quite sure in which direction I want that to be. This looks good, I think. I'll just dragging it around until I get something that I like. This is something that I liked actually. Rose. I will pronounce it Rose. Yeah, this is the advantage and disadvantage of new technology. It's really exciting, and everyone, like when you try it out, you can be the first one, but then you have to, yeah, deal with all the struggles as well. So. Maybe I will try drag one again. I think I would need to look that up, but I'm not quite sure if the brush size has something to do with the size of the holes. So it's probably class mass and cloth damping as well. But yeah, it's a hard one. Or class math. Yeah. Let's use push. Maybe that's I think I have to inflate it again just to get some more volume to work with. What I could do is to smooth all of that out and then to use the mask brush to define some wrinkles that I would like to have. Something like that, just to see if it works. Maybe together with a inflate brush it gives nice results. A bit more art directable results. Let's see. Cloth brush inflate is on. Now see if it's... I think I can now reduce the cloth mass a little bit. I think it worked okay. It looks like a puffed up pants, but this is actually not a bad result on which we can sculpt a bit further. This is a really good start. Yeah, Michael, that worked better than expected. This brush is crazy. I don't know. It's a dream coming true. After struggling a lot with getting proper folds, it's crazy fast. But yeah, that worked quite well. And I think they have a nice style to them as well, the folds. So, and that has a lot of potential. I think this brush could be a reason why I would switch in an actual production from ZBrush to Blender, just for the cloth, and then do the cloth in Blender and then switch back to ZBrush. Because, yeah, that's crazy. Wow. I really like the results so far. I actually like it so far so much that I don't know if I will cover it with the plate here, or if I use the plate with the horn on a different part of the body, because these falls have to be honored. Being the first ones that I did with the first proper ones, the other ones looked like shit. So yeah, crazy stuff. Really crazy stuff. So I think I will add the belt next, and then I will call it done for today. What does expand do? That's a good question. Let's try it out. Cloth and expand. Let's mask something beforehand just to see how it behaves with it. Could be the opposite of pinch. so that it not pulls the mass towards the center of the brush, but moves it away from the brush. But this gives nice results as well. Crazy. This is magic. Idealismo. Thanks for stopping by. Servus. Seems like you're from around, or from Germany, or where are you from? I will do some ZBrush live streams as well. The next one will be on Wednesday. I will do some studies, some anatomy studies. But yeah, like you just saw with the cloth brush, Blender is definitely something that I would like to get more experience in. So yeah, more things will follow in Blender and ZBrush. And this is the first proper character, like complete character, whole project that I'm doing in Blender. I did a head sculpt as a first test in my first stream, but yeah, trying the whole pipeline out with the with Blender is crazy. Idealismo. So where are you located exactly? Because I'm in Baden-Württemberg as well. For anyone who is not from Germany, Baden-Württemberg is a part of Germany, one of the, I don't know, states in the south. And this is where I'm currently studying. So, yeah, Joao, that's what I find as well. The really high frequency details are there instantly. And it makes sense that it's easier to do them since the other ones define much more and you want to have more defined shapes. So yeah, you're not that quickly satisfied with big folds as with the smaller ones. Oh, that's awesome. My some of my family lives in Berlin right now. They moved there, and Vienna is beautiful. Idealismo, that's pretty close to me as well. That's funny. You're not studying at the Film Academy by in any chance, do you? That would be a really funny coincidence. Let's... Okay. Yeah, I think I will just add the belt to merge everything together or blend everything together a bit better. So let me hide the rest of the cloth, but I think we should rename some of the parts to make it a bit easier to see. We should work organized and not... Okay. Sergio. Then Hans Geo. Fergio. Sorry, this the boring part. told you. So let's hide these two. And clear the mask. Go into the orthographic view and with B draw a mask for the belt. And since the view messes up afterwards, mask extract. Civil engineering, oh, that's cool. But 3D and stuff is your hobby, so would you like to pursue that in the future, or is it a hobby for your free time? It's funny that you're from right next to my town. So the world is pretty small. Like, yeah, it's how do you say it? Is it funny? No, I don't think it's funny, but I find it more interesting when like a lot of families spread around the country. It makes it harder to see each other, but it's also exciting to visit different places and stuff, especially if family lives in nice places. So. Idolismo. I don't know if I pronounce it right. I think trying it out is worth it. I mean, you don't have to neglect all the other stuff, but if you find time to explore it a bit further, maybe it leads to something that you really enjoy. And maybe it leads to the realization that it's not for you as a career choice. So trying it out is a good idea. That's funny. Yeah, I live in near the Film Academy, in quite next to Stuttgart. So yeah, funny. Yes, I wanted to unhide the pants and the shirt to... I have to apply, of course. Let's see, yeah. There we have it. Just smooth it out a little bit. And I will probably define the edges and stuff in the next stream. But we managed to make some progress on the sculpt today. And trying out the cloth brush was awesome. I'm looking forward to doing more work with it. So, and thanks everyone for your tips. It makes the process of learning Blender so much more enjoyable and way faster than I would have taken if I pursued that on my own. So yeah, I learn a lot from the chat. So thanks everyone for participating and writing in the comments. It's a lot of fun to do that with you. So yeah, now the shirt and the pants are a bit more integrated to the rest of the sculpt. I think I will leave it like that for today, and we will continue more on the rest of the clothes, and we can start with the weapons and accessories next time. which I'm looking forward to. This will involve probably a bit more box modeling, which I think I should be ready for it, you could say, since everything is dependent on like shortcuts and stuff. But I think I got the hang of it now, enough to do some box modeling on stream. But the character is taking shape. I think we're on a good track so far, and I'm really looking forward to the printed model, to be able to hold it in my hands. Yeah, this is always the exciting thing for me, to look forward to the things that come out of the process. So yeah, it's a fun project so far. I hope you liked it, and for anyone who wants to join the Discord channel until next week, stay tuned on my Patreon channel. I will publish the Discord channel there, and yeah, I will quickly write it in the chat just so anyone has the link to it, and you will have access to the study streams once they are done, to rewatch them. But yeah, I will upload this stream today for everybody to see, since we started it together as well. And yeah, thanks everyone so much. Makes the experience of sculpting and creating characters so much more fun, and I'm looking forward to a lot more streams to come. So thanks, Michael. Michael actually was my or is my first patron, so I really appreciate your support. It really means a lot. It gives me a perspective for the future, what might come out of this channel and what this grows into. So yeah, thanks everybody. Master Vesmec, thanks for stopping by. Idealismo, thanks. Take care as well. Have a great evening. It's getting darker soon, so yeah, thanks everyone, and I will see you on Wednesday. Take care, everybody.